Alright, the first thing that I want to show you guys here is something that, at least from GVM, I've never seen before, and I don't think there is any other panel in the market, at least of a 1x1 category and its price or class, that has a RGB only in one side and the CCTs on the other side. Because I've been asking several manufacturers, by the way, and this video is not sponsored by GVM. I don't get paid to say anything here, and my channel also needs content. I need lights to review here. So when they ask me, are you interested in reviewing this light here, I will look at the specifications the same way as if I was shopping for the light. So if I actually like the light, I say, okay, send it in. They don't get to see any approvals of any kind. They're watching the video the same time as you guys are doing. So all I'm doing here is to review one more light for you guys. I upload the video on the internet, and that's pretty much it. So I'm actually super excited to be able to have a 1x1 panel that features what I always wanted, RGB here and CCT on the other side over there. And do you know what that means? This is a 50 watt panel, but it's 50 watts per side. So if you could actually turn both sides on, it would be a 100 watt panel. I know exactly what you're thinking next. How much of a pain in the ass would that be in case you decide to actually flip this barn door to the other side when you were using the RGBs? In this case here, you are facing with the CCTs and then you want to change to the RGBs. You simply loosen the screws and the barn door is out. When you're using the other side, flip the panel horizontal like this and put the screws back and you're good to go. I don't know how important the barn doors is to you guys, but every single panel like this that I have here, not only GVM can be a Godox, Generate, GVM, Lupo, I usually remove the barn doors here because I usually use this light for accent lighting, which they're great. It's my favorite way to use this light for. See the green light on the background there? That's the GVM R50R 288-2L. This is also a kit if you want to check out the review, which I also review this product, is right here. So there are many other ways to actually control this light much better than this barn doors here, which by the way, these lights again, they come with a grid, and this is actually the thing that really matters to me because you can actually control the light spill. Sometimes I don't want the light all over the place, and since this lights now, GVM is making grids for them, soft box, this is actually a great thing because you can actually control. Sometimes I want to just like focus the light. And speaking of focus, this is exactly what these front CCT LEDs do because they have a lens on them, and I'm going to be talking about this later. I'm going to show you here on the outside what I like the most. Let me start with this here because every single panel from GVM, as soon as you loosen this thing here with the battery attached, the panel goes like shoo, right? This one here stays that way. There's a little bit of resistance here now, so you can actually do this and do that with the thing completely loose. That's a plus. Also here they changed the way the batteries are attached. Usually every other panel the batteries are inserted like this way. I'm not crazy about the setup over here because somehow if you bang the light too hard, the battery might actually come out for some reason. So be careful with this particular way here because either put something here to actually make sure it's not going to fall, or don't bang the light too much. When you set up in the studio here, leave the way it is. And when they release a light here, I really hope that they are not doing the Wi-Fi stuff anymore because the good news is this light actually is again one more light that relies on the Bluetooth app, which is a lot more stable, a lot safer. There's no Wi-Fi to be messing around because when you use the lights that has Wi-Fi, your phone has got no internet. So if you're expecting something like an email or anything, notifications, it's not gonna happen because as long as you're on Wi-Fi. As far as I know, every time you're looking at a light that they just released, if it has this black new OLED display here, most likely it's gonna be a Bluetooth one because I've never seen a Wi-Fi GVM light that has this type of display here. So every time you look at this, it's probably a Bluetooth application light. Another cool feature that these displays have here is the actual little battery gauge. It doesn't matter how accurate or how not accurate it is, at least gives you an idea how much power you have because the other old school displays that GVM had, you have no idea how much battery power you have unless your battery has the little 5 little dots on the back. You press a button, tells you how much charge you have. Now this panel here is the very first panel that I've seen from GVM that does the speed of brightness that I've never seen before. So back in the day when the display was blue with the white text, people were complaining that these lights here, they only went from 5% increments regarding the brightness or the CCT settings or RGB settings. And then people were complaining, GVM actually took care of that in making these lights and the other lights still with the blue old school display, the newest models. That goes from 1% increments, but the thing is, you have to be turning this knob forever until it reaches 100%. and then to go back to 0, you gotta be turning the thing again. GVM also listened to the complaints again. I'm one of the people that was actually complaining about this. So in the brightness settings here, I'm gonna be actually setting to 0% right now. As you can see, it goes from 0 and then 1% increments all the way to 100%. So the other panels, you have to keep twisting this thing here forever until it reaches 100%, right? Are you ready for this? So one single turn, I'm at 100%. And one single turn, I'm at 0%. How awesome is that? What else would you want, right? You have a very cool, very fast way to do 100%, boom, 100%, or somewhere here, 0%, instantly. Or you can actually go slow like that. I love this feature here. It looks like they're getting this thing right on every single panel they release, but this one here, they pretty much modified everything that I didn't like on the previous panel. So nice. Here's another thing that you probably want to know, because I'm actually running two types of lights here from GVM in one set here. So this is the GVM R50R288, which is a Wi-Fi light, and this is the GVM 50SM, which is a Bluetooth app operated. So I'm actually having the Wi-Fi app here, which is the GVM Easily, and the other one is called GVM LED. The logo is a GVM2. So let me go back to the Wi-Fi here, the GVM Easily. So I'm going to be showing you guys here actually something that they did here. This is awesome as well. So let me actually kill this light here, and I'm going back to the Bluetooth app, and you can still control the light. As you can see, you can go to the CCT and whatnot, control the percentage and color temperature and everything else. Let me go back to this setting here, like 5-6%, something like that. So what I'm going to show you guys here next is how gentle this light can be at 1%, which is ridiculously dim. This is very useful just in case you want to shoot something very close to this light, and if you're shooting a wide aperture or a high ISO or whatever, so you don't want to blow up your exposure. So let me turn this light here, this way here. Let's turn on the CCT. I'm actually at 1%. You can even see my face here. It's too weak, right? But in case you are ISO 4000 or f1.8 or something crazy, so you can actually go as gentle as this. I'm at like 5%. So even closer, you can even do 4%, 3%. This is absolutely freaking awesome. Or you can go all the way up to 100%, which by the way here, this is plenty of brightness for, you know, a regular sized room. You know, small mid-sized room. And don't forget, this is a 50-watt light, but the way they built this light here, you're actually getting twice as much power as you should, because if this thing was sharing the CCTs with the RGBs, you are 100% will be around here, right? You're gaining this much more power, about 40 to 50% more intensity because of the way they built this panel here. Also notice that as soon as you start putting extra diffusions here on the front of this light, which I highly recommend, especially soft boxes and possibly a second diffuser here, you're going to lose intensity. So if your light is this way here, put a soft box, the intensity is going to drop to something like this, right? So you got to keep that into account. Another cool thing here they actually greatly improved is the fact that these lights, they don't blink or they don't change the colors drastically anymore. So even at a lower percent, I'm actually, let's go to 7% here. As you can see, when I'm actually spinning, you see there's no jumps there. See how gradual that thing is? You go from green all the way to the next color, and then next to the magentas here. So it's very smooth, even if you go fast. Same exact thing with the CCT. When you change the color temperature, everything is very smooth. To turn off the light, you just press this button here on CCT. So if you are on HSI, you have to go back to the CCT to turn off the lights here. Okay, cool. I got what I wanted. RGBs on one side, CCTs on the other one, but you notice there is a display here, but no displays over here. It would be cool if they actually provide on both sides of the display, but I don't know if there's enough space inside here, or how much expensive the light will cost with these two double-sided displays here. So when you are on the RGB side here, you have to kind of block your eye a little bit here until you actually decide what percentage you are here. Then when you decide to go to the other side, here is easy because the display is right here, so you can actually see the intensity or what color temperature you like. But when you go back here, you have to kind of it is what it is. It's no big deal, but you know, just so you know. And this light has four functions: the rotate, then slave, then master, and then app. Going back to the rotate here, to me, I don't know what the difference between master and rotate is, because you can still control the brightness or everything else here, color temperature and CCTs. So anyway, when you go to the slave here, the other light has to be set to master, which will control this light here. You notice that, nothing will work here because the light is on slave. It's going to be up to this light here to actually control. So if nothing works here, it's because you are on slave. Next will be the master, which you can actually do everything. Control the brightness, the RGB colors here, and CCT, color temperature, the intensity as well. When you go to the next one is the app, which you can actually control the light with the app. And again, you lose the functionality of these buttons here. Nothing works because it's on app. The app is actually controlling this light. The control knobs here, they move to the bottom of the light. They're no longer located on the back of the light. So the left one here facing this side of here, which is the RGB side of the panel, this is your brightness button, and the other one is the one that controls everything else. And it also features a tap in, which will tap it once. Right now it's on RGB. You tap it once, right? You access the saturation, and then you tap it once again. You are accessing now the CCT lights. And then the brightness is going to be changed to the right side now because you flip the panel. It's a little confusing, but you get used to it. So right now we're on CCT mode, and the same exact thing they did with the RGB, same thing they're doing here, how gentle and soft the transition is. I'm at 3% right now, and you notice that the daylight LEDs, how gentle they're turning. I'm talking about on the very first turn, because all GVM panels that I know, as soon as you turn 100 degree Kelvin, the light is already like boom, probably 400 degrees Kelvin off, right? So I'm gonna go back here to 3% or 4%, going back to the 3200 degrees Kelvin. So the light barely turns on. It's very smooth transition all the way to the actual 5600 degrees Kelvin. So I'm gonna be doing a little faster here for you guys to see. So this whole panel here, software-wise, they actually have improved every single thing. Smooth transition with the color temperature, smooth transition with the RGB, same exact thing you see here. Going back to the changing the colors here. Everything is super smooth. With the light at 100%, it's easier, but now we are only at like 2%, and you will see how gradual this whole thing is here. You have all the color spectrum here, very nice, very gentle. There's no shocks here. So again, you are on RGB right now. Tap the right button in once, you switch to the saturation, and then once again you are actually accessing this side of the panel here. Now to access the effects here, because most of you guys don't read the manual anyway, so you're going to be probably spending half an hour here instead of reading the manual, right? And then you press and hold now for 3 seconds. You don't need the app to access the effects. On the light here, press and hold for 3 seconds, and then here's the effects. And then to select the effect here, you press this button here, and then it's the police car, which is actually on the other side of the light. Press this again here. It's going to be, I think, the candle light here. And then press it once again. You have the effect number 4, which is the bad bulb, I believe. Yeah, there you go. Or the TV. No, this is the TV. And this is the bad bulb, actually. And then the other one is party mode. At 100 milliseconds, it's going to act the same exact way as the disco mode does. This particular effect here, for example, when you actually switch to 1000 milliseconds, it's going to be actually taking 1 second to change the color. And the next effect is going to be blinking for 1 second until it changes each color every second. So here's the difference. Then when you go back to the 100 milliseconds here, they almost look the same. The next and last effect will be the paparazzi kind of thing here. To get out of here, press and hold again for 3 seconds. And then you go back to the CCT, press it once again, you are on the RGB, press once again, you control the saturation, press once again, you are back to the CCT mode. And again, press and hold, you go to the effects. Now one thing that I don't like here is because even if you flip the panel here, they didn't write brightness or CCT or hue controls. It's just like, a plain little black thing here. And on this side of the panel here, the RGB diodes, the brightness button happens to be on the left side. So when you flip the panel on the other side, the brightness is going to be on the right side. So it's going to be a little getting used to here. But again, I wish they put the display here on this side and the other side. That'll be cool to have. Now the 50 SM kit comes with everything that you need, even comes with a softbox with a 1-layer diffusion and even a grid. Not even that, you have to buy separate. Everything is included here. So the cool thing about this one, of course, you have to remove the barn doors in order to install the softbox here, which by the way, to remove this barn door is like a 10-second or less thing. So install the softbox here, and then you're thinking, what if I want to use the softbox on the other side? There are two options. You either take the softbox out of here and then flip it this side here and install it over here, or you can leave the softbox as is here because they include also a secondary grid and a diffuser for you, which is pretty cool. So imagine this. You have your softbox here with a diffusion and a grid, or without a grid, whatever you prefer. And over here, that's when you're using this Velcro here, which by the way, they also supply the Velcro. You don't need to put the Velcro all the way here. All you need is like an inch of size here. So here's what I did here. All I have to do is to put one little Velcro on top and the Velcro here. Don't put it too long because you're gonna be obstructing this thread here when you actually put the barn doors back. So only like an inch or less, and then the grid is gonna be meeting right flat on this panel here. The light leak is almost minimal. So they did this pretty cool, and it's a very quick thing. All you have to do is to Velcro here and Velcro there to take it out. Just be gentle because you don't want to rip the softbox because these Velcros, they are very strong. And every softbox comes with the case here. Inside you're gonna find the actual grid, the actual diffusion, and the actual softbox itself. And GVM makes softbox for their lights as well. And this one here, when I open the box, because I also tried their other softbox, this one here is very cool because it is very shallow. So to open this, all you have to do is to open it this way. So to assemble the softbox here, put this Velcro together. It looks like this. And then you just put this thing right here. And by the way, the little Velcro here that put for the secondary softbox even helps you even hold the softbox. And also this side here, see how it is the wrong side? You just flip the softbox this way. Now everything aligns perfectly. So I also recommend that you actually tilt the softbox flat this way here. So you can even do this sitting. You actually put the softbox this way here. And then all I have to do is to get this elastic thing right here and the other one on the other side. Now to install this thing here, if you want to rush, even if you want to do it neatly, you can do this under 10 seconds. You just go here, stretch it, and then do this, and then over here, nice and straight, this side over here, and then finally this side here. And you still have room for the grid here, which is next. So the grid goes right here. Stretch right here and there and here. Grid is installed. Now to remove, don't grab it from here because you're gonna rip things, right? Just grab it from the corners here. It comes off in 1 second, and this comes off in half a second. And to remove the softbox here, tilt it again. It only comes with these two little elastic things here, and the softbox is completely removed. The way that I have my stuff set up here, notice that you have the Velcros here, so sometimes this thing can get caught everywhere, like as you can see here. So when you remove the softbox with this Velcros here, it's gonna get caught in a few places here. To close the softbox here, just undo this here, and then this is the first thing that you're gonna fold, and then this actually folds this way, and then it should look like this here. The GVM logo out, and this thing sticking out this way. There's a Velcro right here. All I have to do is to loop this around. Velcro is here. Same thing with the other one here. Right on the Velcro. Should look like this here. Next thing here, how long can you actually run this light with these two Sony NP-F 970 batteries? Everybody asks me this on the comment section on every single light I receive. So I'm actually going to be posting from now on the video here itself. So it depends on the battery that you buy. If you have the original Sony NP-F 970 battery, you're going to be running this light for over 2 hours. Now if you buy the aftermarket battery, this one here is a good quality battery, and I bought this battery here on July 17th, 2020. And it still run like a champ. We're on 2021, and I actually use these batteries a lot. So don't go cheap on Amazon and find the cheapest Sony NP-F aftermarket battery because you get what you pay for. So just spend the actual couple bucks extra but buy a quality battery. So this battery here is 7.4 volts, 7900 milliamps, which is 7.9 amps. And the number, the magic number they're going to be looking for is whatever it is that says WH, which stands for watt hour. What is a watt hour? Is how long this battery will take to run by every hour on the given light here. So this battery here, most Sony 970s, they come with about 58.5 watt hour. Since this light here needs 2 batteries to operate, you're going to be actually doing 58.5 times 2. So making these 2 batteries 117 watt hour batteries. So this panel is 50 watts. So with the watt hours, you divide the 117 divided by 50. So at 100%, you'll be able to run this panel here for 2 hours and 34 minutes approximately. At 50%, multiplying by 2, you're going to be running this light for 4.6 hours. Now let's say your battery does not come with the provided information how many watt hours it has. No problem, you can actually simply calculate the voltage. For example, this one here is 7.4 volts. And the actual amperage is 7900 milliamps, which we're gonna have to convert by amps, which is 7.9 amps. So the amps is 7.9. And calculate, what did I say? 58.4 or 5. This is exactly what this battery is saying here at this particular amperage and this particular voltage. Your home vacuum cleaner is 110 volts. And the amperage is about 12 amps. Your vacuum cleaner consumes about 1,320 watts for the particular given number. If your vacuum cleaner was 220 volts, the same 12 amps, it's going to take 2,640 watts. So it's pretty easy to calculate. You don't need this app, but just in case you're curious what app that is, it's called Watts, Amps, Volts. Available on the App Store at least. I'm an iPhone guy, I don't know about Android, but this is the name of the app you can actually look for and then download this app as well. Most GVM panels that you guys have, you probably know that they feature a dual switch. One side is AC, the other side is DC, right? Which means you can actually safe install your batteries here without any danger of any current that's not supposed to be running here. This particular panel here does not feature that switch. It has a single on and off switch, which is right here. It's either on or off. So every other panel from other brands that are reviewed and tested here, dangerous voltage, which is the voltage that has nothing to do with the voltage that charges your battery, is another type of higher voltage, like 16 point some volts, right? So this panel here is actually safe to actually have your batteries installed because you're not going to damage your battery, because as soon as you turn on the switch here, as you can see when you actually do a probe here, I'll try to hold this at the same time. So the thing is, on this particular panel here, you have to touch here and then here. Nothing is registering on my light meter, which means there's no voltage here. So you're actually welcome to actually have your batteries here while you're running on the AC, the thing plugged in. This light here, you can actually install the batteries right here. And as you can see, as soon as you unplug it, you saw it blinking a little bit, right? Switches to DC. And as soon as you plug this in here, you can see it has a switch as well. So again, there's no current flowing here when you have your batteries attached, which is awesome. This panel here, they made everything right, from the CCTs to the RGBs, the way the brightness works, you know, the soft transition, all the way to the actual electrical thing here. So if you pull real quick, you're not going to notice, but I just show you in slow motion here what's happening. It's just like most appliances. As soon as you plug this in here, it cuts the circuitry of the DC and AC. So just so you know, you can actually have these batteries installed here without any danger of blowing up your batteries, because lithium ions, they're pretty temperamental. You can't really mess with this battery, so it's safe to actually have these batteries here. I've seen, and I also assume that most of you guys are going to be running the power supply dangling all over the place, especially with this wire completely untangled, making the setup very ugly, right, and messy. So I have a completely different approach here, which is the cleanest setup in how to actually mount the power supply directly into the light stand, and also when you raise the light, everything goes with it, right? So the first thing I want to do, I'm going to provide the link in the description here. Go to Amazon and find one of those little furniture selfie stick little adhesive here, and then you want to do the Velcro here on the 3 remaining sides of the power supply here. This side, this side, and this side. It doesn't matter if it is the core side or the soft side. And then you want to find this Velcro at Home Depot or Lowe's. It comes in a package that says Velcro, is a white package, and it comes with a silver and black. So next what you want to do is to attach the Velcro here on the 3 sides, loop it around, and then you just firmly press it in, and then you actually tighten this here, and as you can see, the power supply doesn't go anywhere. So when you rise this stand, everything rises together. And you can also secure this cable here, so if somebody trips on the actual power cord, nothing is gonna get broken because the thing stops right here. So to take this off, you just undo this here, and then simply undo this part here, and the thing is out. To put it back in, it takes what, 2 seconds. Good to go. What do I use these panels for? I personally use these panels for headlights, background lighting, accent lights, like you can see the green GVM LED shining some light over there. Also putting this light behind the piano to glow some blue lights or whatever. But if this light is the only light that you have, you can certainly do a key light. Just for me, it's a little too small, 50-watt panel, because usually my interviews, they require a lot of power, like a 300-watt light, because usually the rooms that I use is very large. But if you have a YouTube channel with a small room or mid-sized room, and if you don't have the lights too far away from you, this is going to be perfectly for your key light interviews. They already provide with this kit a softbox with diffusion, even with a grid for lighting spill control. And if you want to use the barn doors with the CCT LEDs here, which by the way, these lenses here, they almost act as a grid. So they project light more far away than the regular CCT lights that has this shape here, those little square, because those shapes, they're more floody. The light is wider, and this one here, the light is more concentrated. So they provide also a sheet material here that you can actually use a clip here using the barn doors. So first what you want to do is to borrow the diffuser that came with the secondary softbox here, put it right here on the Velcro, and then attach that paper here. You have a nice diffusion light. Now if you want the absolute ultimate in soft lighting using these panels here, all you have to do is to grab a collapsible diffuser, one of those 45-inch or whatever that should do. Grab a stand, put that in front of these lights here. You can actually place these lights side by side or on top of each other, which is going to make a bigger light source. Now since we have these lights behind the diffuser disc there, the bigger the light source, the softer the light will be, and also the closer you keep it to you, it's going to be contributed to even a more soft light source. And also the more layer diffusion that you put on the light, the softer the light will be. So the 3 things: diffusion, keep the lights close to you, and make the light source as big as possible. And with these 2 panels here, 50x2, you have a big light source with 100 watts of power right now, since you're using these 2 lights together. Now here's the stands that come with this kit here. They also improved on the shipping quality, because before you only come with this thing here. Now they even taken care of actually putting additional wraps here, which is nice. And let's see if they changed this thing here. Looks like they changed the design a little bit. Now this particular stand here is very light, and it's nothing heavy duty, nothing special to look at, but it is a light stand that's included with the kit. And these panels, they're pretty light. As long as you don't go rough with your equipment, I don't see this light stand breaking, at least not in my hands, because I use common sense and I treat my equipment very well. And to make this stand here actually fit in the case, it has that reverse type of design here. But when you actually open, all I have to do is to unscrew this little knob here. And this thing is pretty much, it opens itself. So there's no fighting with the stand. So you can actually collapse the stand and you open like this. There's no fighting with the stand. Just a little bit when we actually raise the stand this way. So I'm seated, so I'm actually helping with my knee here, and there you go. You can actually do the stand the opposite way. But I don't want you to actually use the lights with the stand this way here, because you actually have no stability because the legs are like this. Now if you do have the space, try to have the stand at least below the GVM logo here. But if you can go wider, look how wide this thing can get here. It's this wide. So this light is not going anywhere. If somebody accidentally tips on the stand here, I don't think the light is gonna fall because it is so wide open. And to collapse the stand here, put one of the legs on your knee in case here I'm sitting, and then look how easily it closes. So I'm gonna open it again. It opens like that. And to close, you just help with your knee a little bit. The stand is fully closed. If you're picky with your equipment, another thing that I want to recommend, I bought this at Hobby Lobby. This side here is like a foam, the other side is almost the same material inside the case here. Velcro attaches to this. And then you cut it to size to fit your case here. The purpose of this is when you put the light on top of each other, this is not going to scratch the other stand if you're picky with your equipment. And also it adds resale value just in case you, a couple years later you want to sell this kit. Everything is like no scratches and keeps everything looking like new. And that's the end of my review here. If you like what you saw, please consider giving me a thumbs up, which tells YouTube that this is a quality content, so other filmmakers can actually benefit of seeing this video here. And if you like to subscribe, please do. It helps me a lot here. So once again, thank you very much for your time watching this video, and I'll see you next time.